Donald Trump says President Clinton's past misconduct with women and marital infidelities are fair game to bring up while his wife is campaigning for the White House.
But there was certainly a lot of abuse of women, and you look at whether it's Monica Lewinsky or Paula Jones or many of them, and that certainly will be fair game. Certainly if they play the woman's card with respect to me, that will be fair game.
His fellow GOP candidates are united with him.
Every past president is fair game. The fact that one of them happens to be married to a presidential candidate doesn't change that.
Of course Bill Clinton's fair game. He's a former president.
You know, I don't think it's Hillary's fault that her husband had serial infidelities. What Bill Clinton did with Monica Lewinsky, even though it was consensual, it would have caused him to be fired from any major corporation in the country. And so I think that's a legitimate discussion.
All right, a little bit of flashback there. Will it backfire on Republicans if they remind voters about Bill's history? Clintonista Howard Dean thinks so.
Here's the problem for Trump. Trump is, we all know, he's the master of this kind of stuff. There's one person in America who is clearly better than Trump, and his name is Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton is not going to take him on directly. He'll do what he did to Newt Gingrich in the Congress when they impeached him. He'll flip it around. He'll do jujitsu, and whoever takes on Bill Clinton is going to look like an imbecile.
Coming from the screamer. Okay, thanks, Howard Dean. We'll listen to you for sure. You like that? I love it. That's my best Halloween impersonation. You even like that. A Democrat, you're cracking up at it. So.
I'm backing up at you doing Yeah, well, it is legitimate. Go after him. It's great. I think it's dumb politics because he's the most popular politician around, and I think it's kind of stupid to attack a wife for her husband cheating on her, but God bless, go to town.
But she's bringing it up against him to say, hey, you're a sexist, but it's like, hey, throwing stones, be careful.
Listen, what Clinton did with Monica Lewinsky, and again, I know it was consensual, I actually agree with, I think it was Rand Paul, the way they treated her was horrible, and she continues to pay the price 20 years later, and she was young and stupid and made a mistake, and the fact that she continues to have this cloud over her, my heart goes out to her and Paula Jones and everybody else. Having said that, it's very, very hard to say that Hillary Clinton, as the wife, who was the one that was cheated on, somehow was responsible for the fact that her husband stepped on her. And, so let me just finish this point, it's very hard to say, well, she stayed with him, so you have to judge her for it. A lot of women make that decision. That's really, what happens in a marriage, you really can't judge, and so I don't think it's smart politics to do it.
See, I think it's slightly more nuanced than that, because what they're saying is you can't stand there as Hillary Clinton and wag your finger at someone and call them a sexist and call them a womanizer or call them to say that they don't respect women when you yourself have stood by someone who did the exact same things that you're saying, and you didn't wag your finger at him. Instead, you attacked the victims in those cases. I think in that sense, she's a hypocrite, but I think most of the voting population knows she's a hypocrite. So I don't think that would be new, and they know what he's done.
Melissa, I 100% agree with you, but I think we should take a step back to Monday and Sunday. And the bottom line is Hillary Clinton was in the process of rolling out her winter campaign, which was I'm going to be tougher, I'm going to be stronger, and I'm going to use my secret weapon. And stage one was tell everybody I'm a woman, I'm going to run on the woman card, you're going to have your first woman president, and we're going to, every time I'm attacked by a man, I'm going to play that card. What Donald Trump has done for the entire Republican field, and perhaps if there was a real competition on the Democratic side, is took the woman card away. Because today she did not answer one of those questions, did not bring it up on the stump, and she got one of the questions on the rope line and kind of avoided it. I'm sure in Brooklyn they're saying to themselves, we do not want this fight. We want to talk about the issues, talk about the 1998 economy. We don't want to talk about the 1998 impeachment.
I think they actually do want this fight because two things. One is she's very good at playing the victim. It always helps her. Her numbers were never higher than after.
She's been neutralized.
No, she hasn't been, because her numbers were never higher than after the whole impeachment. Remember when she went out there and she said, my husband cheated on me, and did the whole press tour? Her numbers were through the roof. That's one. And two, his numbers were never higher than after the impeachment. So to go after him, this is not a partisan analysis. It's actually just a political analysis. I think it's stupid. I think it's stupid politics.
But the thing is,
it doesn't work with anybody but the Republican base.
But the first stupid move has to be Hillary Clinton playing the woman's card in December. She's playing the card, and Donald Trump says, wait a second, you can't play the victim and act like females have had the short end of the stick for the longest time, when the person who gave a woman the short end of the stick throughout the late 90s and throughout his governorship was your husband.
Yeah, and she has been throwing like the gender card, you know, I'm HRC, hear me roar, I can bring home the bacon fried up in the pan, and push the Benghazi video.
Yeah, and you know, Donald Trump makes it look easy, doesn't he? It's unbelievable that Republicans fumble this issue, and he just kind of, he's able to brush her back And that's all it is, Julie. It's not about, yes, she's always played the victim well, but it's about Bill Clinton. He's the secret weapon. She's going to pull him out, and this neutralizes him. Now when he gets out on the stump to stump for Hillary, he's not President Bill Clinton. He's serial abuser Bill Clinton.
Kidding me?
It's brilliant.
This is all baked in. This stuff has been out there about him for the last 25 years, and it hasn't affected his numbers. I predict to you right now, in fact, I will come back and I'll buy each of you a round of drinks. If I'm wrong about this, her numbers are going to go up the more Donald Trump attacks her.
Well, that's going to
take more than a round, but okay.
It's going to be like a keg. I will buy
Julia,
the biggest keg for
I don't disagree with you because I think everything that's out there that they're saying has been said a million times.
Yep.
We know this about all these people. What I do think amazing is that once again, Donald Trump can literally say anything.
Yep.
I mean, I don't think there's anything he could say right now that would bring his numbers down either. I don't think so. I think he could get away with saying the worst possible things on the planet.
He does try.
And his numbers would be higher the very next day. It's astounding.
He's the Teflon Don. He's better than my nonstick pans at home that I obviously never use.
Right.
You're trying to
a lot
bring
about your
up
house,
with
your cooking, and a lot of things. And you got the head bob going
I know,
already in the A block, which is rare.
And the scream.
Fired up.
Perfect.
Totally.
But I know you talked to Donald Trump, getting ready for your show, filling in for Greta tonight.
Yeah.
And on the weekend, she's going to ring in the new year at the top of the hour. Do you agree, though, that he could say anything? So far in the primary process, I say yes. But as soon as the caucus/primaries start, if he's not first or second, I think that's going to be the test to see how much your Teflon pan analogy works.
Yeah, a whole set, like a 12 set, like a really good wedding registry gift. That's what he is right there. I think he's not going to change his game. I mean, this is who he is, being authentic in terms of this is his personality, this is who he is as a businessman, this is what he does. I don't think he's going to stop counterpunching if someone hits him. So far, his strategy has worked, right? He's ahead in the polls. The CNN poll, 39%. Next closest person is Cruz at 18%. So nationally, it's working, but caucus is going to be.
And now the head-to-head, they're in a virtual dead heat with Hillary Clinton, according to the Rasmussen.
Yeah, do you want to take a look at that? Would it delight you?
If you have the time.
We got it.
Right? I mean, I don't want to tell you what to do.
There you go. We've got some shadowy figures there chalked in. Yeah, with the chalk. So you've got Hillary at 37. Trump at 36. How am I doing on the DMV eye test?
And everybody keeps mentioning the fact that he hasn't spent any money yet. And when you look at the details, I mean, he's actually the first guy. He's making money. I mean, he said to Forbes back in 2000 that he was going to be the first presidential candidate to get out there and actually make money while he's on the stump. And if you look at the breakdown of his campaign, I mean, he's found very legitimate ways to pay himself. I mean, he's renting back his own space, where his campaign is. He's paying himself for his own plane that he's using, which is completely legitimate, but it's genius. And I say, when people talk about him possibly being a third-party candidate, that's insane because he would have to spend his own money.
Right.
And that man is completely, and rightly I might add, wedded to his own money.
But to your point, Brian, you made an excellent point. The proof's in the pudding, right? All these people that love Donald Trump, these are not necessarily traditional voters. Some of them are, but a lot of them aren't. When you go to Iowa, you've actually got to show up and caucus. That is a full-day thing. It's not something you just show up and pull the lever as you would anywhere else. Ted Cruz has a great organization in Iowa. I don't know what Trump's is like, but if he doesn't win Iowa, and then he goes to New Hampshire, he gets beaten by Rubio or Christie or anybody else who's kind of coming up, then, to your point, does that take the shine off? Is he no longer the winner? His whole thing's all about being the winner. And then does he go to South Carolina and Florida, damaged? I would posit to you that he's got
good numbers in
he does.
Senator Scott Brown was saying today that he thinks he's ahead in New Hampshire, that he thinks he's going to take New Hampshire, that he has a chance of winning it.
There you go. He's up by 12 points, but did you see the invisible figures, the chalk outline?
Yeah, the chalk.
22% have not made up their mind, and they know one thing. They didn't want either one of those candidates, Hillary or Donald Trump, so that is key. Number two is it's not winner take all. So if Donald Trump is thinking long-term, which he's in South Carolina, right? He's thinking long-term. He's thinking SEC primary. He knows he can come in second, and then wait for the first. It's a long-term game if he wants to play this out to May. If he can handle not winning every single thing, second place and third place works. It keeps you alive. I think that's the Rubio game plan.
Well, as far as Trump's concerned, he feels like, he's playing chess, the rest are playing, checkers. I mean, I don't know. So we'll see what happens because Iowa's going to be the first test to come forward. We'll see how the numbers show up there. But, yeah, I mean, Cruz does have a formidable, ground game there as well. Tommy Tom.
Well, the amazing thing is that after all the, so-called controversies and the shocking things Trump has said, he's polling even with Hillary Clinton. The whole thing about the Democrats were saying, oh, we can't wait to run against Donald Trump. Julie, you've been saying that. Oh, we would love it if he's the nominee.
But
I still do. I can't wait.
Donald Trump is going to have unsuspected constituencies all over the country. I see it with these people. All these people are supposed to be anti-Trump. There are Hispanic janitors out there who are saying, oh, I like Trump.
Oh, yeah, the ones that he wants to deport, those guys?
Listen, people laugh at it, but it's true.
His
There's
base is
a
blue
lot
collar.
of people out there.
His base is a blue collar, and,
He's
and
right.
I saw
I
that.
get stopped all the time. I got stopped in New York. They're like, hey, we know you. I go, you know me? And then I, was like kind of undercover, whatever, just like not looking glamorous, right? And so they stopped me, and the whole Hispanic family, they're like, we love it. We're for Trump. We're for Trump. We're, the whole deal. And
she was flipping
whole Latin
burgers.
yeah, it was. I don't know. I'm just telling you that each day when I go out there,
let me read you a Trump quote. This is a Trump quote. Look at the trouble Bill Clinton got into with something that was totally unimportant, and they tried to impeach him, which was nonsense. That was him talking about
2008.
2008,
and
talking about. And nobody cares. Flip-flopped 100%.
It's all coming down now.
Nobody cares.
That's going to take him down.
I know. Yet another flip-flop, and nobody cares.
I don't know. They call that, your best friend till I'm your worst enemy.
Right.
Or he evolves.
I just want to know who these people yelling at Kimberly on the street are. I
No,
mean,
they're
what kind of guy would yell
friendly,
at Kimberly on the
amazing.
street
The
to get
whole
attention?
family, kids, everything. We took pictures.
It's all
It was very
men.
funny.
I don't believe that.
It was good. Right in front. It was actually in front of Trump International, believe it or not, in front of that place. Are we good? We good? Ready to roll?
Are you talking to me?
Pulling the ripcord. I'm asking the people that matter and the master control. Up next.
It's Tom Shillue, by the way. Who
I love it.